Hello, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-program information webinar on Chief Executive Officer Program by Asian Institute of Management. We'll just wait for a few more minutes before all the participants join. Hello, Ahmed. Hello, Charles. Good morning, Chin, Hiroshi, John. Good morning, Maravik. Good morning, Ricardo. Good morning, Al Ramon. Hello, John Henry. Hello, Danny. Good morning, Arlen. So yes, I guess a few of them are started to join as well. So in the meantime, we'll start off with a small icebreaking session in which all the participants are requested if they can use the chat box to write how many years of experience they're having, which industry they belong to, and if they're part of Philippines, which city they are from. Thank you so much for sharing that, John. Wow, 14 years of experience. That's great. Perfect then. I guess we'll start off with the webinar as well. So yes, welcome everyone again to the pre-program information webinar on Chief Executive Officer Program by Asian Institute of Management. So yes, we have the webinar agenda over here. First, we'll speak about the speaker of this webinar, the AIM Advantage program details. Who is this program for? The learning outcomes of the complete program, curriculum, program highlights, certification about emeritus, and we'll end up with a few amount of questionnaires and also the next steps as well. Yes, so this is the speaker of our webinar. This is Professor Alberto G. Mateo Jr. Professor is the head of School of Executive Education and Lifelong Learning at Asian Institute of Management. His expertise lies in general management, sales, marketing, business development, corporate finance, and human resources. With research, just give me a moment. Yes, yes, with research in other areas as well. So yes, Professor, yes, you can take up.
All right, thank you very much. Okay,
Yes.
so good morning, everyone. All right, so I am Albert Mateo, and I'll be your facilitator for today's information webinar about the Chief Executive Officer Program. So before we do that, let me share with you some information about AIM. All right, so as you know, AIM has been existing in the Philippines for almost 50 years. All right, and we continue our legacy and heritage of excellence in business education. So reinforced by our numerous rankings, all right, in various areas. No, of late, no, last May 2024, we were selected, no, as one of the top business schools for executive education by the Financial Times ranking. So we are the only school ranked in the Philippines, number 6 in Asia and number 70 worldwide. So you are ensured that when you enroll in one of our programs, you will be having a quality learning journey. All right, with us. So one of the newer programs that we have created is actually the C-suite programs. No, so our intention is to be able to now provide a lot of our senior leaders in the organization, whether you are belonging to your a company, you have your own business, you're managing a family business, you're a startup entrepreneur, and the like, so that we can be able to provide you. Uh, More information, no, about latest models, best practices, in order for you to be guided, no, on how to do those particular roles. So we essentially launched our very first C-suite program, which is the Chief Finance Officer program, and then followed by the Chief Data Information Officer program, and then now here the Chief Executive Officer program. So basically, what we wanted to achieve, no, in this program is to be able to actually provide a learning experience for all current C-suites, all those people who are managing business. If you're a business unit head, if you are a functional head like in finance, in HR, in IT, in operations, in sales, in marketing, and you wanted to really have that CEO mindset, no, in order for you to either prepare yourself for that in the future, or currently you're already doing that, all right, in your own business, in your own set of organization. So this particular program will allow you to focus on different models of leadership, how to be able to drive innovation, growth, leveraging technology, no? Of course, of what's the latest disciplines, no? That we can make use of to drive profitability and, of course, success for our respective companies. So in essence, this program will run for about 28 weeks. All right. So it will be a live session, all right, with all different faculty who will be teaching in the program. And it will start on August 19, all right, 2024. Okay, so since this is a very senior program, so we would like to have those people who have more than 10 years experience in total, all right, to join this particular program, so that when you now share your practices, interact with the different participants in the program, you'll be able to share a lot of those wealth of experience, no, that you have in your career or in your set of businesses. So what we wanted to do is really to create this program so that for those people who are really visionary, who would like to really have a better future for their company, if you wanted to actually start up your own business, or if you're managing one right now, or you wanted to become the general manager or head of a subsidiary of a conglomerate, you'll be able to now know how to navigate a very complex and volatile environment, no, as chief executive. So we wanted to focus, for example, as I mentioned a while ago, this program for those people who really like to aspire to become a CEO. No? So just like myself, I used to be a functional person. I used to be a finance person. All right. But over the years of my career, I was able to rotate to different functions like HR. I went to business development, and eventually become the general manager and the president of a company, of a multinational company in the Philippines. So a lot of these concepts, no, that can be very helpful, so that you can expand, no, and grow from your functional point of view, right, into becoming and embracing the CEO mindset. Okay, so the obviously the next set of target will be already those people who are already in the C-suite level, right, regardless of the function. And of course, CEOs who have been, general managers who have been appointed. If you have your family business and or to actually start up your own business, then this will be a good program for you. And then for corporations, of course, senior managers, maybe consultants, no, and the like, who, because if you are also providing a lot of services to your clients, it will be very good for you to have that there to embrace whatever they're thinking and whatever is their mindset, so that you can really add a lot of value. All right. So in essence, the outcome that we want to have for this program is basically the following. No? So first, we wanted to give you tools and framework in order for you to think about how to really grow and make your business successful, no, amidst competition that is present. We want you to be able to understand to read certain trends, whether macroeconomic, whether technology trends, so that all of those things that are in store in the future, you'll be able to incorporate on your plans, no, on how to navigate, for example, the industry that you are in. And then we will also share with you a lot of technology aspects, no, like AI, and all of that. So that you'll be able to now see the value, no, of incorporating a lot of these things in the success, no, of your businesses. And then, of course, needless to say, now because of the numerous volatility, uncertainty, complexity that is happening around us, right? So a leader, and particularly the CEO, should be able to navigate, no, and lead the team in order for them to uh, wade through, no, these particular changes that are happening in our industry and the like. And then sometimes what our success in the past may not be the same formula for success in the future. So in essence, we have to have a different mental model in order for you to actually think about newer ways, no, newer opportunities, maybe what we call a blue ocean, right, of strategy, so that you can actually develop, your organization to embrace a culture of innovation and change. As we always say, no, we cannot expect that the outcome will change if you keep on doing the same thing over and over. All right, and you can take a cue of that based on the technology and development that is happening around us, based on what's driving other industries, for example, and how can we make inspiration from those developments in our own respective context, no, in business. So in essence, no, we have divided our program into four major pillars, no, and then we have created some sort of a theme for each of these pillars, so that all of them will be more or less a coherent aspect, no, of your role as a chief executive officer. No? So module one is about macroeconomics. Of course, this will be a foundation for us to understand and to read and interpret, no, a lot of these things that are happening in the local front, in the regional side, on the global economic front, no, and prepare, no, our organization for any impact, no, of those changes that are happening around us. Then from there, we will now go into sustainable leadership, because definitely, particularly nowadays, no, with the growing onset of a lot of Gen Zs, millennials into the workforce, our consumer base, and the like, they are very self-aware, no, as far as those organizations who embrace sustainability, those people who are who really cares about the sustainable development goals, all right, that we have, for major industry. So the more you try to understand what they are and how to embrace them, for example, in your own strategy, in your own level of branding, so that will be very good for your clients and consumers, no, because it's now becoming more and more important, no, for us to consider those partners, those providers, those suppliers, no, who actually embrace the sustainability aspects. And then module three will be focusing on futures thinking. All right, in order for us to assess, no, trends, signals that are really in the offing, for example, of our industry, for the type of businesses that we are in, so that when you can imagine, for example, some of those potential scenarios that may happen in the future, then you can determine, a process of bringing it back, no, as we call it in the futures thinking world, backcasting, so that when you actually put it back to the present time, you will be able to now create some sort of an action plans or strategies in order for you to now bridge from where you are today to that imagined future. All right, based on that particular mental model. Okay, and then from there, module four, we're talking about growth strategy, right? Whether organic or inorganic. So definitely, the chief executive officer is the one who will really become the chief strategist chief strategist for the organization. So whether we would like to grow our business based on the merits of our current portfolio, current set of customer base, and the like, or we would want to pivot, no, to certain areas, whether adjacent or totally, a totally new environment and new set of market segments that you want to pursue. So we would want you to actually learn on how to be able to assess whether your industry or your market segment is maturing, whether how can you possibly grow, and the different strategies to be able to still grow in very matured market, or how to be able to now identify opportunities and pivot to other areas. Okay, and then from there, once you now identify all of those things, then module 5 will talk about business model innovation. No? Because in today's day and age, it's not only about coming up with a product, no, coming up with a product, coming up with a service. It's also about talking about a very profitable business model. Because in essence, based on what we have seen, no, in a lot of experiences of major companies or even a lot of startups, that companies do not fail because they lack products, no, or because they lack services, no, to offer to their clients. Most of the companies actually struggle and fail because they lack a profitable business model. So in this module, we will be sharing with you the 9 pillars of a business model, coming from the segments, the value proposition that you offer to your set of customers. How do you reach your channels of customers? How do you maintain loyalty about them? The kind of revenue streams, all right, that you can be able to now have, from product sales, service integration, maybe subscription models, uh, and the like, no, or freemium model, all right, so that you can be able to identify any other things that you can tweak, no, in your business, so that it will actually drive, no, another growth opportunity. So that's on the revenue side. And then on the cost structure side, definitely we will be talking about in the business model, the way you conduct a lot of your activities, the key processes that you have, identifying key partners that will be very essential, no, whether you will, what functions is it good and right for you to outsource and partner to others, so that you manage the entire cost infrastructure, no, of the organization. So again, all of these things are very good foundation, no, for us to think about how to structure our business. No? Uh, Definitely, your own experiences and seniority in your respective roles will be very helpful. But the advantage of having to understand all of these mental frameworks will be very good to couple with your very solid experience. Okay, and of course, customer centricity will be the major topic in Module 6. Definitely, nowadays, our first set of customers are very empowered, they are very knowledgeable, they know already what they want before they even go look for a potential provider, service, supplier, and the like. No, so how do we now manage the entire journey of our customers so that every touch points that they have, for example, whenever they are interfacing with us, whether brick and mortar, online, through our salespeople, to our channel, it will be a very positive customer experience altogether. And of course, from there, we will connect it to design thinking, because design thinking is an innovation model that is latched on customer centricity. All right, because a lot of times, let's say you would like to come up with different strategies. No, you innovate certain processes, you innovate. Let's say certain product lines and the like, no. But many companies, the mistakes that they do is that a lot of these decisions are made coming from internal information. All right. So maybe you decide to come up with a new product line because of the capability that you have. All right. From a technology standpoint, from a manufacturing standpoint, from a service, capability standpoint. However, in the design thinking methodology, we will validate how important those ideas are from the customer point of view. Because the last thing that you would like to see in an innovation format is to launch something that nobody wants. All right, because that, again, based on the many experiences of many startups, 75% of product launches fail because, it's maybe it's human nature that we fall in love with our ideas, our thinking, maybe our own invention, our own discoveries and the like, our R&D, that we fail to identify, no, what's the impact of all of these great things that you can do from their point of view, and that's what design thinking can do. And then from there, once you now identify the different facets, no, of a business, from a customer standpoint, from your business model, from doing it organically, or through expansion and pivoting your business, then you will now be able to now go into a strategy formulation methodologies. No? So it will be very good for you to have to understand different frameworks that we normally teach in a lot of our MBA programs, all right, so that everything that you are thinking about rests on solid ground, no, because you analyze them very, very well. And then the last portion of this pillar is, of course, how to execute all of those things that you were able to think about, with excellence, right? So, how do you now establish a cadence, no? A cadence in your organization, in your company, in such a way that all members of the team know exactly what is the role of what they do every day to the overall, vision and objectives of the organization. So, we will share with you a very proven framework, on how to be able to align all members of the organization so that you will rally them, towards the objectives and goals that you wanted to achieve for the company. And then after strategic leadership pillar, then we will move to transformative leadership. No? So in this particular side, no, we will be able to now provide you the other side, no, of the role of the CEO, no, from the softer side of it. All right. So pillar number one will be focusing more on the strategy, and then this one is about yourself, your environment, the people around you, the people that are working for you, people who are you are interacting with internally, externally, and the like. So my module 10 will be about leveraging the entire C-suite. No, definitely you cannot win the war by yourself, so you have to have a team. All right, and typically the CEO is supported by a C-suite team. So you have your chief finance officer, the chief HR, chief marketing, chief sales, CIO, chief supply chain, chief manufacturing, and the like. So all of those members of the team should actually be, collaborative in nature, because that's the powerhouse of the entire team. No, your C-suite cannot operate in silo. All right, because otherwise you can unleash the collective and the halo effect, no, when people work together. So in this module, we will share with you on how you can be able to achieve that very collaborative C-suite team. And then from there, we will now share with you and teach you, for example, a stakeholder mapping, so that you'll be able to know, based on your business, based on your industry, based on the complexity of what you do as an organization, then who are the major things, no? Because some organizations are more regulated in nature, some organizations are more dependent on channels and distribution, and the like. Some are more dependent, let's say, on manpower on the ground, no, and the like. So you have to navigate the different landscape, no, of your business model through the stakeholders that you manage. All right. So then after you map out all those stakeholders, it will be very good for you to identify what are the good strategies, no? Who are the stakeholders that you have to keep closer to you, stakeholders that needs to be informed, stakeholders that needs to be consulted whenever major things are happening, and the like. And then module 12 will now talk about the changes, no? The impact of changes, the impact of many things that may happen in a business. Sometimes we will, just like the pandemic, no? So whenever crisis like those will happen, what will be a very good framework to use in order for you to navigate those types of turbulence, no, in the organization, no, very well, no. So we have picked this up from our um, executive master in crisis management and disaster management, no. So because after all, we are really in the midst, no, of all of these different natural calamities, a lot of man-made type of situations, or business related type of crisis. So again, it will be very good for the CEO to have that mindset, no, on how to navigate whenever these are being triggered, for example, no, in the business. Okay, and then from there, we will be talking about models on how to make decisions. All right, because in essence, I know sometimes experience is the best teacher. All right, but as we always say it in a lot of our leadership courses, no, actually experience is not the best teacher. No, evaluated experience is. All right, so we will in this module. All right, so we will share with you a toolkit, right, in order for you to actually use whenever you are making decisions. Because definitely, human beings as we are, we have certain types of biases. Now, whether cognitive biases, whether they are perceptual biases, they are social biases. and the like. So all of these things may affect the way we make decisions. So in here we will be going through several concepts, no, for you to always have it in check whenever you are making decisions, so that you will be able to now incorporate a very sound and logical way of making decisions. All right. And then module 14 and 14 will focusing on yourself, right? So how do you now increase influence rather than always using your power and your position, to actually get things done, because that may work, for example, for a short period of time, but if you are not there and the organization does not feel the power or your presence, no, so maybe some people will not move, some people will not actually do anything. So that's why it is more long-term impactful if you use influence over power, because influence will actually be more long-lasting. No? Even if you are not there, they still remember you, what your kind of impact on them, and then they will understand what's good for the business, what's important for you, and then make use of those influential, all right, or influence to actually make their own day-to-day decisions in their own respective functions. And how do you come across, no, as a leader in the organization, no, as I always say in a lot of culture building exercises and workshops that we are, that whatever you say as a CEO is not the one that is being followed by the people. All right, or let's face it, that's the reality. No matter how you communicate to them regularly, how you nag them, how you communicate, how you express yourself, it's not the words that will make people follow that will actually create a culture in an organization. What you do and what people see is the one that will actually create culture. So that's why it's very important for you to have that an ecosystem and the environment that is conducive for everyone to see what's important for the business. All right, not about rhetorics. No, it's all about this is what we do, how we do things, because this is how I see it. All right, and hence I need to do it right because I belong to this organization. All right, so that will be that portion, no, on presence, no, and of course creating influence, and of course change is such an important aspect of it. So leading change, we will be doing a bit of simulation. We will be a simulation game, all right, for this session, so that you'll now be able to now identify how your influence over people will go up and down depending on how you manage change, no, on based on how you implement change. All right, so that will be an interesting topic for you in this module. Okay, and of course, workforce management is such an important thing. I'm sure for those of you who have been in business for such a long period of time, one of the major challenges nowadays is how to manage the Gen Zs and the millennials, no? Because during, for example, during my time, all right, so when I was heading, for example, a very big multinational pharmaceutical company and a very big computer company in my career when I was a country manager, it's a bit different in managing those times versus today. No? So, right, for example, in the school, almost 90% of my staff are Gen Zs, right? So the challenge of the kind of experiences, the styles that we develop over time may not be. No, we find ourselves that it's not effective anymore, no, because. No matter what you do, your people under you are not seems to be responding very well. No, that's why understanding the aspects of diversity, equity, and inclusion will allow you to actually navigate your own leadership style, make some adjustments in order for you to be relatable and be able to inspire others, no? To be able to do whatever you want them to accomplish, no? As a team. And then, of course, we will do that by also nurturing talent, no? Definitely, the organization will not only about products, we're not talking about only customers, we're not only to talk about business models, but the entire organization as well. No? So people under you, all right, people around you, all right, should be developed to the fullest. No? And we will provide you a concept on how to develop and identify good talent. No? And wrap up this particular module with, of course, business ethics and governance, no? So that the different aspects, no, on how to structure controls, for example, to make your business run very well. And then from there, from the two major modules, now we will segue to the last two pillars, no, of this curriculum, which is Pillar 3, Future Ready Leadership. And of course, we will introduce, for example, certain aspects about technology, because definitely digital transformation is really inevitable. The growing presence of AI, online business, e-commerce, no? So it challenged our traditional methodology and business strategy, no, of brick and mortar, the use of manpower resource, no, and all these manual things that we do. So definitely, we will introduce to you data science and how you can be able to now incorporate a lot of these new work concepts in the way you do things, no, and the way you strategize, for example, for your business. So Pillar 3 will all be about technology and its application to business, so that you will make your organization future ready. Okay, and then lastly, we will now talk about business leadership. No? So here, definitely financial management is such an important thing. So we will give you a summarized version of the financial things that you have to watch out for as CEOs, so that will have a very good partnership with your chief finance officer, and then you know what to look for, what to ask for, the things that you wanted to include in your balance scorecard, in your metrics, and the like. So we will do all of that in module 23. And then of course, how to operationalize a very efficient supply chain. All right, so that you'll be very responsive, you'll be very agile. All right, you'll be able to now identify opportunity to serve your customers on a much faster pace basis. Okay, and of course, lastly, we will be talking about how to communicate to the public, no? So how to do promotions, how to promote your products, your company, your services to social media, digital marketing, and all of that. So we will cap our entire program with business leadership, so that you also have different aspects, no, from finance to HR to operations. And of course, in the end, okay, so as part and parcel of your requirement to graduate and finish in this program, then we will now have a capstone. All right, so wherein you will prepare some sort of a business plan, no, based on the different based on the different topics that we conducted in the program. What will be useful things, okay, that you can implement in your own respective divisions, your own respective companies, your own respective businesses, and the like, so that there's actually uh, a very solid application, no, of that. And of course, we will providing you feedback, no, for all of those summary of insights and applications that you have prepared. All right. So in a nutshell, no, this will be a 28 week program. So you will have 1 week class per week. All right. So that will run for about 28 days, including all your capstone preparations and the like. As I mentioned a while ago, this will be a live online session wherein the AIM faculty will be there with you, live session together with all your classmates enrolled in the program. You have an opportunity now to network, right? Not only with your classmates in this program, but since you will be getting a postgraduate certificate after the end of the program, you will now be admitted as an alumni of AIM. And you can get access to all of the almost 50,000 alumni of AIM, both in the Philippines and of course around Asia and the world. Okay, so I already mentioned about the alumni status. So once you complete the program, by completing all the sessions together with the capstone, as I mentioned, maybe we will invite you for a graduation after that, and then you will be getting your postgraduate certificate, and of course, we will admit you to the alumni of AIM, and then you will have a 20% discount already, no, for life. All right, for any executive education program that you'll be able to get again from AIM, after you graduate. Okay, so that will be a very good, aspect, no, as part of this. And of course, we will make this a very experiential and participant-centered learning. All right, you will not only learn from the faculty, you will also learn from the case studies that we will be discussing. You'll be learning from your co-participants and the like, and you will cap all of those learning with your capstone project. All right, so we have really created a very comprehensive but summarized version of what you can what you can learn, from our executive MBA, right? So that you can be able to focus just on the learning rather than doing a lot of this academic calisthenics. All right, and of course after that, then we will be providing you a certificate. All right, once you complete the program. So I will pass it on again to Vivek to discuss about emeritus, and then we will be opening the floor for any questions that might.
Yes, Professor. Perfect. Thank you so much for a very beautiful presentation, right? So we'll get on with what emeritus is. So emeritus is like rank number one edtech company in the world as of now, and we are in partners with the best university in the world to create online courses. Asian Institute of Management has collaborated with emeritus to create online courses as well. So emeritus has served over 250,000 students across the world, and this is the global demographic percentage on which we have the participants from. Yes, now the floor is open for all questions from all the participants, and we are happy to take that up. We have a question and answer board as well, in which you can drop all your questions. We'll be happy to take that up.
Vivek, maybe you can. I think questions already.
Yes, yes. Like our team is already answering, like the program
Okay,
support team. Yes.
thank you.
Yes, so we have been seeing many questions and all are very interesting and informative. So yes, we have one question from Ricardo Aguas. The question is, when will the class start and will you share modules per day as per reads? So yes, the answer is coming up real soon. Next question is from Maravik Mabuti. She's also asking about the schedule of the online classes per week as well.
So maybe I'll answer first the question about the CEO program, all right, and the Masters in Enter program. No? So it's a bit different, right? Because the CEO program is really focused on those elements that are focusing on the role of the CEO. Our Masters in Entrepreneurship program focuses on the business of the enterprise. All right. So while some of the topics may be, similar, the focus is a bit different. All right, because the primary objective for the MTech program is for you to be able to scale your business, no? And then there will be a lot of because it's a master's program, there will be course, a full blown courses for that. You will have examinations, capstone. You will have different aspects, no, to be able to actually create some sort of a workshop, no, for your different functions and the like, no. So the CEO program talks about a high level concepts about the different things that are usually in the plate of a CEO. All right, so both programs, all right, there will be some commonalities of topics, but the extent by which we deliver them is on the different perspective now. And so I hope more or less in a nutshell, I was able to answer your question. Okay, so what's the difference between the postgraduate? Okay, so the postgraduate certificate is it's a stackable program to the UWA Global MBA program. No? So what we do in that particular program is we do it by course. All right, so I believe there will be a course on analytics. There'll be a course on people management, on financial management. Very extensive discussion on that. No, if you will compare what we have curated, for example, for the CEO, are high level, very focused type of topics, no, that are usually in the plate of the CEO, while in the postgraduate certificate in general management talks about the different functions of finance, operations, marketing, HR, innovation, and the like. So those are more deep dive of that. That's why that program is a little bit longer. It's a 1 year program as well, and then that is now stackable for you if you want to pursue an MBA degree. Then that portion can now be transitioned to the AIM UWA Global Management, a Global MBA program. So we do it differently based on the topic. So this is really predominantly for our C-suite program. So mostly anchored on their role, what normal challenges and situations they are facing in their respective functions, and then from there we create a program relevant, no, in order for them to manage and navigate through those problems and challenges. All right, so I hope I provided you. So if you want, you can come. I'm sure there was also so that the enrollment team can actually provide you some materials, no, so that for the other program, the postgraduate, so that you can be able to now compare it with this particular CEO program.
Prof, there's still one question in the Q&A tab. May I know if this curriculum is suitable for a beginner of the management for a Filipino company?
Definitely, yes. It will be very good. Actually, it will be very suitable, no? Because a lot of times, whenever we are starting a business, diba? So we typically encounter a lot of errors, a lot of mistakes, a lot of very expensive experiences, no? That we will that we will get, no? Because definitely it's our passion, it's our interest that led us to that particular business, no? So while you are doing that, it will be very good for you to actually, and if you're the owner of that business, it will be very good for you to really see the different aspects of it, no? So that you more or less based on the different experiences, case studies, examples of how other companies and CEOs like you were able to do it in the past, more or less you'll have a reference, no? Whenever those situations will come up in your business moving forward, then you'll be able to see it. Right. So I hope I answered your question.
Thank you, Prof. Vivek, I think we can proceed with the enrollment details and orientation details. Thank you.
Yes. Perfect. Then can we, yes, so all the details will be sent to you like on the chat box by our program support team, like about all the details and where you can reach out to us. So, yep. If you have any other questions, you can, again, yeah, always reach out to us through our mail or phone. Perfect. Then if there is no other questions, then we can proceed to end the webinar.
All right. So thank you very much, everyone, for attending today's session, and I hope you will, you have all the information that you need in order for you to be able to now um, decide to enroll in the program. Okay. So see you soon. All right. In our first day. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you, everyone, to join this webinar. Have a nice day.